Welcome back to Cinema Recap Hub channel. In today's episode, we dive into another movie review, and before we start, kindly help the channel grow by leaving a like and subscribe. Now that you have subscribed, let's continue. In the year 2157, humanity has achieved remarkable progress through the great theory of education, eliminating wars, hunger, and terrorism. Earth's environment has been restored, medical advancements have eradicated diseases, and space travel has become commonplace. Max, traveling the universe in his personal spaceship, avoids calls from his family urging him to return to college. His journey takes a sudden turn when an asteroid strikes his ship, causing significant damage and necessitating an emergency landing. The ship becomes uncontrollable and crashes on a nearby planet. Max narrowly escapes before the ship explodes, leaving him stranded on this unfamiliar world. As Max explores the planet, he discovers evidence of a recent bonfire and notices a creature hiding nearby. He attempts to communicate with it, but the creature flees. At that moment, a soldier named Zeph arrives, aiming his gun at Max and speaking in an incomprehensible language. Max quickly pulls out a translation device from his belt, but Zeph shoots at it, causing Max to lose the device before arresting him and transporting him to the nearest town. Max is stunned to find that the town resembles a grim version of Earth, reminiscent of historical accounts he's read. Max is taken to a lab where scientists place a helmet on him to probe his thoughts during interrogation. Despite their efforts, they do not believe he is an alien and decide to transfer him to a mental hospital in the capital, with Soldier Guy assigned as his escort. During this time, the entire town fervently chants the national anthem, pledging loyalty to the government. Suddenly, Zeph collapses from a seizure and is taken away by authorities. As Max and Guy travel to the city, Max observes the town's dire condition and the towering structures scattered every few miles. Guy explains these towers are meant for protection against enemies. An explosion destroys the base of one tower, causing it to collapse onto the road, killing several people and damaging trucks. A large metal rod pierces Max's truck, trapping Guy under the rubble. Max, using his extraordinary strength, rescues Guy just before flames engulf the area. Max learns that rebels are attempting to overthrow the government, which is why the towers are crucial. With no other options, they continue their journey on foot. Upon arriving in the capital, the head of the Department of Special Research, Strider, learns of Max's arrival and instructs his employee, Funk, to bring Max to his office. Meanwhile, Max is held in a dangerous facility, where he is placed in a water tank for continued mental examination. Funk intervenes, using Strider's badge to remove Max from the facility against the scientists' orders. In the government building, State Prosecutor Umnick requests his employee to monitor any news regarding Max. Realizing the time, Umnick retreats to his bathroom to have a seizure in private. Funk, transporting Max, encounters a roadblock and is forced to find an alternate route. He becomes increasingly anxious as he notices the time, and eventually, he suffers a seizure. As authorities arrive to apprehend Funk, locals chant government slogans and label Max a degenerate for not participating. Seizing the opportunity, Max escapes amidst the chaos. Inside the government building, it is revealed that the country is governed by a dictatorship led by the unknown fathers, including Strike and Umnick. The fathers are ruthless, executing any member who makes a mistake. Max wanders through the city and ends up in a bar, where he meets the waitress Rada and quickly develops feelings for her. When another customer becomes aggressive, Max intervenes, disarming the man and scaring him off. Max and Rada spend the rest of the afternoon talking, during which Max learns she is Guy's sister. She invites Max to stay at her home. As they leave the bar, the aggressive customer, now accompanied by backup, confronts them. Max deftly evades their attacks and defeats them swiftly. When a larger group arrives with heavier weapons, Max fights them all simultaneously. Despite their attempts to subdue him with ropes and whips, Max uses these tools to his advantage and defeats his attackers. Eventually, only the cane-wielding man remains, who throws a bladed sphere at Max, but Max easily avoids it. Back at Rada's place, Guy returns home and is initially shocked to see Max. However, he recalls Max's previous rescue and allows him to stay. Over the following days, Max learns about the local culture, including the fact that his thoughts are broadcasted on TV as if they were a film. Locals are taught that they live inside the planet, not on its surface, and that there are no other celestial bodies. The government claims that the towers ended the war against the rebels, labeled degenerates, and saved the country. Enthusiastic about defending his homeland, Guy invites Max to join the Guard. Without ID or documents, Max must be approved by Commander Chachu, who agrees on the condition that Max undergoes training. Max learns the national chant and participates in mission trials, which involve running through burning areas and shooting at targets representing degenerates. Max excels, helping his less skilled companion pass the test, but Guy later reprimands him for this, stressing the need for discipline. At home, Max trains rigorously while Guy quizzes him on the rule book. They also spar regularly. Max and Rada's relationship deepens, culminating in a kiss. After Max is officially inducted into the army, he joins his first raid in rebel territory. The soldiers carry out the operation with brutal efficiency, using bombs and violence against terrified civilians. Max is appalled to discover that the so-called rebels are merely ordinary humans. He drops his weapon in shock. When a rebel emerges and opens fire, Max witnesses Chachu's sadistic behavior as he kicks the captive for sport. Max is disturbed by the brutal treatment of the rebels, who are rounded up and forcibly loaded onto trucks. Chachu scolds Max for his reaction, explaining that the term, degenerate, refers to those who, despite feeling pain like anyone else, are seen as subhuman. Max explains he does not feel pain, which prompts Chachu to insult the rebels further. Later, the unknown fathers judge the rebels under harsh conditions, with some denied a chance to defend themselves while others are sentenced to death. A rebel reveals he had his arm replaced with a mechanical one, only to be punished further by being placed in a suit filled with burning gas. Max watches in horror, struggling to conceal his revulsion. He tries to discuss the injustice with Guy, but Guy defends the government's methods. Funk eventually locates Max and, while Guy and Max are summoned to Chachu's office, Funk arrives too late. Chachu orders Max to prove his loyalty by executing 2 condemned rebels. Max pretends to comply but secretly frees the rebels and confronts Chachu, resigning from the army. Enraged, Chachu shoots at Max, disregarding Guy's pleas. Chachu drags Guy back to the capital, leaving Max's presumed dead body in the forest. The unknown fathers convene to strategize against the rebels. Umnik proposes using the current situation to consolidate their forces into a large army, suggesting a full invasion might be necessary. They discuss ways to manipulate public opinion, possibly through a staged assassination attempt. Meanwhile, the rebels discover Max in the forest and are astonished to find he has survived due to his advanced healing abilities. Max explains Earth's medical technology and reveals that he can only be stopped by a headshot. The rebels disclose that the towers are used to brainwash the populace, with those who are immune suffering seizures, and that the government labels these individuals as degenerates to justify their persecution. During a tower's broadcast, the rebels use sticks to prevent choking during their seizures, and Max helps them through it. Max and the rebels then break into the tower's territory, and as they engage in combat with the soldiers, Max moves swiftly through the facility, defeating any soldier in his path. Despite heavy casualties among the rebels, Max manages to plant explosives under the tower and escape with the survivors before the tower collapses. Another rebel succumbs to his injuries, leaving Max and one other survivor. Later, Max sneaks back into the city and reunites with Rada. Unbeknownst to him, a neighbor spots him and informs the authorities. When Guy returns home, an argument erupts, and he attempts to expel Max. As authorities arrive, Max flees to protect the siblings and engages in combat with the soldiers. Despite his efficiency, Chachu takes Rada hostage, forcing Max to surrender. Max is imprisoned with other detainees, including Zeph and the man with the metal arm. Strike visits Umnik, who subjects him to uncomfortable seating as a form of subtle torture. Strike seeks Max's release for study purposes, but Umnik, intrigued by Max's seizure immunity, orders his abduction and reports to Strike that Max died in action. In the morning, prisoners are tasked with cleaning the forest, picking up discarded weapons. They encounter defense robots and engage in a fierce battle to destroy them. Zeph informs Max about the dangerous mutated humans and their need for elimination. While exploring, Zeph falls into a hidden hole, and Max rescues him. They discover underground tunnels leading to an abandoned facility. They encounter a beast, which damages their equipment before attacking. Max, using his strength, overpowers the beast and rescues Zeph. Max allows the beast to escape, explaining it is not an animal but a being with its own nature. The following day, Max, Zeph, and the metal arm guy find a small red tank and are ambushed by a larger black tank. Max devises a plan to use the red tank to destroy the black one, then infiltrates it to disable its controls. After a meal with his companions, Max decides to escape. Despite security measures, Max commandeers the tank and navigates through minefields. Umnik reacts furiously to Max's escape. Max encounters soldiers guarding the factory, dismantles one, and engages in a gunfight with others. Max discovers an alien spaceship that has been hidden, deducing that the unknown fathers are aliens from another world. They originally arrived on Earth, and their real objective is to conquer the planet. The tower's malfunction results in a power outage, which disrupts the entire city. The entire power system shuts down, including communication with the fleet and authorities. Max sneaks through the darkened city and confronts the unknown fathers at their secret base. As Max battles the fathers, Strider is revealed to be one of the original aliens who aimed to conquer Earth. The battle is fierce, with Strider showing brutal prowess. Max eventually defeats Strider, who is revealed to be a mutant in disguise. With the father's defeat, the city is thrown into disarray, and its inhabitants begin to question the reality of their situation. Zeph, using Max's intel, reprograms the remaining defense robots to fight against the oppressive government forces. The robots start destroying the towers, leading to chaos and confusion. Max and the rebels, alongside Zeph and the metal arm guy, launch a final assault on the government headquarters. Amidst the chaos, the towers collapse, and the government's control over the population begins to falter. As the dust settles, Max and the rebels emerge victorious, and the oppressed citizens begin to rebuild their society. Max's journey ends as he returns to Earth with the knowledge of his extraordinary experience and a renewed sense of purpose. If you want more daily movie recap, there are 3 things you need to do. 1. Like this video. 2. Share this video with others. 3. Subscribe to the channel and smash the notifications bell so you'll be notified as soon as a new video drops. Until next time, keep grinding, and I'll see you at the top.